Flight boss, bitch, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're gonna get into the importance of the goddamn moon. Now, for the most part, this is what you need to understand. The three most main important ingredients you got to your actual natal chart is your sun, your moon, and your ascendant. So, they play out simultaneously, especially compared to the Mercury through Pluto. Mercury through Pluto is like your tools, your attributes. These is what adjust your characteristics, because your basic character is your sun, which is your wants, your moon, which is your needs, and your ascendant, which is your personality. And throughout those, that built your character. And what built your characteristics is your Mercury through Pluto. This is why everybody is aligned in different ways. Now, for the most part, check this out also. Not this, but my point I'm going to get. Now, when we talk about what's most important out of the three, if you had to pick one, it boils down to the moon. Here's why. Because we are in a realm of reality and a dimension right now where you are receiving first. So you are receiving, responding, and reacting to things before you are acting, before you are consciously aware. So keep that in mind. So when you talk about the moon, this is more correlated to that nature. This is more correlated to that feminine nature. Even when you came out of your mother, the first thing that you did was take in a breath. You didn't breathe. You didn't do that when you came out your mother. You wasn't like, God damn, hard work. You ain't do that. The first thing you did was, you see what I'm saying? So for the most part, you was receiving first. So in this realm, you have to use your common sense, and you will come to the conclusion that in this realm, that must be a lot more powerful than the external version of things or the expansion version of things. You see what I'm saying? The contraction is much more important. So this is what the moon is more correlated to. The moon is more correlated to your original state of being, how you respond and how you react to the world that you are in. And for the most part, it's tapping you into your subconscious realm, your feminine nature, your right brain side of you. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has a right brain side to them. So even if you have a moon sign in air or earth, that's just how you construct your right brain nature. But for the most part, this tap you into your roundness, your 360, your subconscious, before you draw it out and draw squares and lines out of the 360 and create a square when you start to analyze things with logic, using your left brain. So people be thinking that a square circle don't exist, but a square circle actually exists in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. Anytime you take your emotions and feelings or your creativity and imagination and start to try to logically adjust it, logically shape it, give it a direction, give it a pattern, you create a square circle in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. I don't give a fuck what you talking about in the 3rd dimension. Holla at me, scientists. Now, for the most part, getting into the motherfucking moon. Now, the moon is in a circumstance or a situation where this is the energy that you could tap into, so you can kind of understand how you're receiving, how you're responding, how you're reacting to things. So even early on in life, as you get older, the first things that you was doing as an upbringing was reacting, responding to family, reacting to siblings, reacting to your surroundings. So you, as a child getting older, you was more of your moon sign. Now, as you start to get older, you start to act upon things, and you start to develop your personality. So this is where you get your sun sign, which is your wants. This is how you act, how you view things, what you're consciously aware of, what other people are consciously aware of from you, what other people can see from you, the things you pay attention to, how you act in general, and your actions. So this is your sun sign, it's your wants, and then the position it was in, aka the house it was in, that will appear to be your first house. This is how what your sun will appear to be. This is how it appear to look. This will be your appearance. This will be your first awareness, first impression. Or this is your personality when people don't actually know how you act or react, aka your sun, how you act, or your moon, how you react, or aka when people don't know your wants and needs, aka your sun and your moon again, your sun, your wants, your moon, your needs. So your personality plays out as the personal giddiness, or the personality or the actual movement and characteristics you have while you're acting out your sun sign. You see what I'm saying? Now, for the most part, since you know that these came second, then you need to know that the moon is actually comes first. So you actually have to react to something and experience something in order for you to start to develop an ego or a conscious, aka a solar plexus or a sun, to be aware of yourself in that astral realm. So for the most part, when you talk about the sun, your moon dictates what your sun and your ascendant does. So always keep that in mind. And I just broke down the science of how you can kind of understand why the moon, it plays out more important when we talk about the sun, moon, and ascendant. But when we start to talk about Mercury through Pluto, the sun, moon, and ascendant is at the top. They kind of work simultaneously compared to those. But if we had to pick one that's most important when we talk about this dimension and the realm of reality we are in at the moment, we have to say the moon. You know what I'm saying? Just based upon all the energy I was just putting into this video, everything I was just saying. I can't really break everything down like that when I start to talk about the sun and the ascendant. I can only talk about some external masculine energy shit, which that's powerful also. But when we talk about the feminine energy and things of that nature and receiving energy and the magnet bringing into you energy, you know what I'm saying, and the attraction energy and what things could be attracted to, then we have to talk about what's transparent. And if we want to know what's most transparent to you, transparency is like you can see through it. It's like steam, right? So transparency is correlated to your most lightest body. So that give you another common sense on how to try to understand that your moon, your Merkaba, your mother was one of the first light bodies you created, even before your solar plexus. You see what I'm saying? So that's your most lightest cloth. You know what I'm saying? The most transparent one. The most lightest version that could take many different shapes and forms. That's almost like your smokeless, shapeless, odorless, non-flammable gas. And that's one of the lightest forms you can kind of take to experience realms of realities. And that attached to the memory, your water, your moon, the mother, reaction, experience, and that ties you into the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. So also, this is why your dreams is tied to this realm also. And your dreams is elusive and transparent and things of that nature. Everything is correlated to the same energy signature. Don't get it fucked up and don't get lost into man's versions of things. We also need to understand this too, astrological-wise, for all my astrologers out there. I know it's a lot of concepts where we want to say the sun represents the father, or Jupiter represents the father, and the moon represents the mother. But see, let's not get it twisted right here. Right? Because a lot of times this is why information like that could be wrong. You know, when you hear those certain astrological interpretations when they say the moon represents your mother, and then they start to actually try to describe your mother and your actual life, and that's not even going to be 100% right. So we need to learn how to psychologically or psychological wise understand what we're actually interpreting. So when we say, well, when I say the moon represents your mother, yes, it represents your mother-like energy. So this is the energy that you run to in order to feel comfortable. So anytime somebody snatch you out of your moon sign energy, your moon sign element, the element and the sign of your moon, that energy signature is like your mother. So anytime somebody try to separate you from that energy, it can make you highly uncomfortable. And it can make you highly moody to the point that you would do whatever it takes and act out, utilize your sun and ascendant to act out in order to get back to your situation where you can feel comfortable again, aka your moon sign. So pay attention to your moon sign. Your moon sign is what makes you comfortable. And anytime somebody take you off your moon course and play as a roadblockage or obstacle in order for you to participate into your moon sign energy, this is where things can get really fucked up in your life. And you start to not understand why things is getting chaotic. So keep that in mind also. Now, when we talk about so let's get into the moon itself. Now, your moon alignments is correlated to who you are. So since we broke down why the moon is so important, the moon is like your satellite. You know what I'm saying? So the moon is kind of like the first frequency wave before you align yourself in the 3rd dimension. You see what I'm saying? So when we talk about the moon, right? Now, all your alignments that you got to your moon, it is basically who you are. It is basically your state of being. It is like who you are. Now, what do I mean by this, right? Say you got alignments to your sun. Say you got like your sun conjunct Venus. So you act on the energy of love, appreciation, value, relativeness. Try not to pay too much attention to that, though, because you could be taken advantage of, and then vice versa. The way you love, appreciate, and value is seen from others. Others can see it. Other people are consciously aware of this. People see this as part of your actions, that Venus-like energy. But see, here's the difference. When we talk about it with your moon, the moon is, you are that, because it is part of your satellite. So it's part of your makeup before you even made your rest of your makeups, and then you made this flesh. So for the most part, this is what you need to talk about or think about, right? When we talk about the moon alignments, let's say you got moon conjunct Venus. This means you are Venezuelan. You are a Venezuelan, whatever they say that word. You are a Venus-like person, right? So that's just who you are. You are a loving person. You are a compromising person. And sometimes you may not be able to help it. You see what I'm saying? So that'll be who you are. Say you got moon conjunct the sun, right? The moon conjunct the sun. So this means that the way you react and respond to things and who you really are, that is what's being seen. So who you are is what's being seen. That's what's being paid attention to. You can't hide who you are. So it's like you're not a liar. And this plays out more harmonious a lot of times, but it can play out negative. Actually, the conjunctions could play out like trines, sextiles, squares, and opposition, all in between. You know what I'm saying? But depending on what side of the bed you wake up on when you got a lot of conjunctions. But for the most part, just talk about conjunctions in general. When you got the moon conjunct the sun, is you see what you get. You are who you are, basically. When you got the sun conjunct the moon, the things you pay attention to, these are the things that make you comfortable. The things that you act upon, these are the things that make you comfortable and things of that nature. Say you got the moon conjunct Mercury, right? You are a Mercurian type person. You see what I'm saying? That's who you are. You are a communicative like person. You are a thinking and analytical type person. So it doesn't matter if you got a fucking whole chart full of water and fire. If you got the moon conjunct Mercury, then it doesn't matter what you're expressing. You're still going to be doing it in some type of communicative way. You know what I'm saying? And you may even still learn logical ways to bring your artistic or your imagination to reality in some way, shape, or form than the average person who may just have Mercury in Pisces or Mercury in Sag, you know what I'm saying, from time to time. Now, when we talk about the moon conjunct Jupiter, then you are a Jupiterian like person. See, if it was the moon conjunct if it was Jupiter conjunct the sun, then that's just how you act. You act Jupiterian. But what makes you feel comfortable when other people are not around, or even when other people are around, your true natures, the first initial things that you react and respond to, may be something else. You just may act and be consciously aware of these things in a wise type way. But when we talk about Jupiter conjunct the moon, you are Jupiterian. You see what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. Also, when we talk about if you got the moon conjunct Saturn, you are Sagittarian. So you can't help it but to be practical. You can't help it but to try to gain structure in your life. You feel uncomfortable when you're not doing things or reaching your goals or not gaining structure in your life in some way, shape, or form. Based upon a place, a person, or a resource, or a thing. You know what I'm saying? Or a job. You feel highly uncomfortable when you're not able to be seen in these things because you feel like these things are you. So when it's not around you, it's like mother not around you. It's like mother's breast is not around you for you to go take a sip and get and quench your thirst. You know what I'm saying? For your hunger or passion, which is a good segue into Mars. If you got moon conjunct Mars, then aggressive is who you are. You know what I'm saying? Your intent, willpower, passions, and motivations and desires is who you are. So anybody try to take you away from those things, you would get highly uncomfortable. So you could be a person who overindulge a lot if you got Mars conjunct the moon, because your passions is who you are. So so a lot of times you ain't trying to pay attention to somebody who look at it like a habit. You see what I'm saying? Regardless what it is, you could be a workaholic. A lot of people who got moon conjunct Mars or even Saturn are workaholics. You see what I'm saying? Now, even when you talk about the moon trine, let's say the moon trine Uranus, then you are the gift of uniqueness and originality. You are the gift of change and rebellion and opposition. So anytime somebody around you, they manifest circumstances and situations where it's either going to be unique and original, or both of y'all are going to change, rebel, and oppose each other in some type of way. So it's like you are that energy. You have the gift of being that energy. See, anytime you got an alignment towards your moon, it's who you are. Anytime you got an alignment towards something else, it's just actually constructing things. Now, it plays a little bit more on a blind side when we talk about things conjuncting your ascendant, like planets in your first house, or when we talk about things conjuncting your sun. You know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of times we're in a society right now where people don't watch Archangel Uriel. People are not into flight astrology. So you got a bunch of people who are into these things, like elites and things of that nature, and then they create things as a platform for y'all to develop y'all wants and needs. And so y'all get confused about y'all wants and needs. Y'all don't know if y'all wants is y'all needs, or if y'all needs is y'all wants. So y'all get so confused, and a lot of times the only really thing you really need to know is about your sun and your moon sign. And your moon sign is your needs, and your sun is your wants. Therefore, you'll be able to decipher what's actually going on in front of you, and who planting seeds in front of you that you keep watering constantly, and keep growing bullshit in front of your life, to the point that you got a bunch of trees in front of your house, so you can't even see the yard, or you can't even see what's going on in the goddamn street, in the astral realm, in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. So for the most part, you need to understand your sun and your moon. Your moon is your needs. So for the most part, like for an example, right? I'm gonna use me for an example right here, right? I'm gonna hang myself on a cross. So all right, now my sun is my wants. Now my sun is in Aries, which is cardinal fire, initiating and creating new ways of how to see and feel about things. In a nutshell, we could break that down in so many scenarios. You know what I'm saying? Even if you want to get to the generic ways of talking about Aries, you see what I'm saying? Like the common ways, the newspaper or the regular astrologer way, it's still going to boil down to what I just said. Because for the most part, if you are too busy initiating and creating a new way of how to see and feel about things, that leaves no room to align yourself or relate to somebody else's way of seeing about things. So it leads into an aggressive nature, or sometimes it leads into opposition, not opposition, but opponent, like competition. That's what I mean to say. It leads into competition, because the moment someone have their way of seeing and feeling about things, then the Aries will automatically feel like that this is a competition or war on how we supposed to see and feel about things, where Aries need to learn how to align themselves. So you see that I like to catch things on the root cause. You know what I'm saying? We got cardinal, initiating and creating, and then we got fire, of how to see and feel about things. Fire in general is seeing and feeling. When you see fire, light things up. So that's correlated to seeing in all realms of realities. You know what I'm saying? And then if you touch fire, it's hot. You can feel it. But when you feel it, you can get burnt. So not only if you look at fire, it dances, it's moving, but it's not either, but it's dancing and moving for a short period of time. So you know what I'm saying? That's like inspiration, quick inspiration, but it's not even in this third dimension. It's not even in this realm of reality, because you see how it disappeared. So it's not even from here. So it's truly right brain. It's just the yang version of a right brain energy. So for the most part, you know what I'm saying? Fire is not even here. So it has to be brought here. It's the most lightest form here. Then you got water. Then you got air. Then you got earth. But for the most part, people don't even know, like when you talk about Aries, that's at a root cause. So that would be my actions, right? But what lean and back and support my actions? My moon. So my moon is in Sagittarius, right? 8 degrees Sagittarius. So for the most part, what makes me comfortable, this is my mother. This is my mother. So anytime somebody try to take me away from my wisdom, take me away from my moral system, take me away from my spirituality, take me away from my mutable ways of seeing and feeling about the world we are in. See, this is, when we talk about Sagittarius, this is mutable fire. So all fire signs see and feel. And when we talk about the way it's constructed and the angle of it, this is where you get the modalities. Now Aries is cardinal, Sagittarius is mutable. So this is, my moon is mutable ways of seeing and feeling about things. So the moment somebody try to take a broad perspective away from me and try to put me in a cage and put me in a detail and make me feel caged in with details and things of that nature, I feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? And I have to run to mother. I have to run to my own experience. I have to run to an adventure. I have to run to far out thinking. I have to, and that's long distance travel within the mind. I have to run towards some type of wisdom and knowledge. I have to run towards some type of moral system that I created for myself. I have to run towards some form of spirituality. You know, so I have to run towards some form of a meaning of reasoning. Whatever I just experienced have to have a meaning of reasoning. If it don't, it's going to fuck my mind up, and it's going to take me on to another journey or another adventure through the mind. So that's my mother. You see what I'm saying? That's the moon. So that's what makes me comfortable. So this is what I react to. These are the things I react and respond to in the world. So, and this is my state of being and who I am. So who I am is Jupiterian / Sagittarius / Antares. You know what I'm saying? So you can even include Libra and Scorpio with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's that whole space and spectrum over there. But at the same time, I'm just trying to break it down for y'all to understand on a simple level. Now, so this is the things I react and respond to: wisdom, knowledge, meanings, and reasonings, and broad philosophical points of views of looking at the world, spirituality, and God, and mutable ways of seeing and feeling about the world. So that's the things I react to. Now, I act on those things in an Aries way. You know what I'm saying? Because that come first. So my actions And the way I act and how I see things is in an Aries way. You see what I'm saying? So I like to initiate and create new ways of how to see and feel about all things of the moon. So I do the things of the moon in the Aries way. You know what I'm saying? In a passionate way, in a way that's dealing with desire, passion, motivation, intentions. You see what I'm saying? Aggressiveness. You know what I'm saying? And initiating and creating a new way of how to see and feel about the broad perspective of the mutable way of how people see and feel, which is the moon, right? And then my personality throughout it all, and my character and my personality and how I look throughout it all is Leo, because Leo is my ascendant. So I'm a 17 degrees Draconian Aries, and I'm a 17 degrees Navis, Argos Navis, both Leo. You see what I'm saying? And I'm a Antares moon. And that's getting into fixed stars. But see, my personality through my wants and needs, how I act, and my state of being, my personality through it is Leo, which is fixed fire. So my personality is I got my own fixated way of seeing and feeling about things. You see what I'm saying? So I can be stubborn at times within my personality, but my personality is seen for that. So regardless if it's negative or regardless if it's negative or positive, so it's going to receive attention for that in some way, shape, or form. So it could become extra volatile, or it could become extra comedic like, or it could become extra creative, or it could become extra negative, or it could become extra volatile and burn the whole area down, or it can light the whole area up like a motherfucking campfire. You know what I'm saying? But it's always center stage when it comes to that area. Now it's different between the sun and the moon, so the personality of it is sometimes just how you appear to be. It may not necessarily be how you act or react or who you are, but for the most part it's just how you appear to be. Now by me having a grand trine between my sun, moon, and ascendant, not only is this how I appear to be, but it also my actions relate to that, and how I react relate to that. So it's not squaring or conjuncting. It's not squaring or opposing my sun or moon. It's actually trining. So they understand each other just in their own ways. So even though they act very differently, my sun, moon, and ascendant act very differently. All signs are different, but the way that they act, they understand each other. You know what I'm saying? Because they act in the same energy, just in their own way. You see what I'm saying? So my personality may be fixated on my own way of seeing and feeling about things, but the way I act, I like to initiate and create new ways of seeing and feeling about things. But what makes me feel comfortable is sitting back and seeing the broad perspective and seeing how other people see and feel about things, and come to a broad conclusion on how we all supposed to see and feel about things. And then for the most part, that creates a trine. So I end up having a gift to come across at 3 different angles. See, trines give you a gift. A grand trine give you a gift. You're able to come at things at 3 different angles. So even other elements will be able to resonate with it, because it may be something that they're lacking that they may not be able to see from an angle. So even from my fixated natures, I will be able to enlighten Scorpios, Tauruses, and I'm able to enlighten Tauruses, Scorpios, and Aquariuses, which is fixed signs, due to my personality. You know what I'm saying? Because my personality is fixed Leo. I'm due to enlighten Geminis, Pisces, and Virgos due to my moon, because my moon is mutable Sagittarius. So I'm able to come in that angle for them to understand in my fiery way. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm able to come across well to Libras, Capricorns, and Cancers, because because my sun is in Aries. You see what I'm saying? Which is cardinal. So I got a way to come at each modality. It's just depending on the people in their own alignment that's around me, and how their energy mix with mine, and can they get past the actual element itself will be the actual issue. For an example, if I'm coming to another mutable sign and say they're earth like Virgo, or they're water like Pisces, then a lot of times I can still come to them in their way, but then we still may get into a clash, because still it's the element clash, you know what I'm saying, at the same time. So you just have to be aware of a lot of things. But your moon is your alignment, and it's who you are. So it's basically who you are. Say you got the moon sextile Neptune, then just who you are, just your state of being, just the things you react to, creates opportunities that you could be able to see your dreams, imaginations, or be able to support other people's dreams and imaginations and creativity in some way, shape, or form. It's like you are the opportunity. So people may you may manifest a lot of opportunities in your life, because you may be in some type of circumstance or situation where others see you as an opportunity, and you have to be aware of that, especially with the moon sextile Neptune. Any kind of alignment sextile with Neptune, a motherfucker will create an illusion in your life in a second. So be aware of that. But for the most part, Yeah, this is be aware of the moon. Your moon alignments in this motherfucker. Flight boss, goddamn air.